When I moved in with my girlfriend, I thought the hardest part would be adjusting to her habits. But I was wrong. The real problem was her dog, Harry. At first, it was jealousy, arguments, broken trust. But then, things started happening that I can't explain. And now, I'm not even sure if Harry is a dog at all. Hey, can I ask you something? I took a deep breath and set the knife down. Can we do this later? I haven't eaten all day. My girlfriend, Vanessa, was glaring at me. Her foot tapped against the floor, and I could see she was trying her best not to lash out. As if he sensed the tension growing in the room, that damn dog of hers lumbered into the kitchen. Fine, she said. I just want to know why you couldn't feed Harry. I know you're busy, but come on, Eli. He was starving. I rubbed the bridge of my nose and looked away. All right. Sorry. I got called into work and forgot. I tried to smile, but it came off as more of a spasm of my lips. I'll buy him a bone or something to make up for it. Vanessa grabbed Harry's leash. This isn't the first time, though. Little tears dripped down her face onto the floor. Harry whined and nuzzled his wide head against her shoulder. He means a lot to me. Taking care of him is taking care of me, okay? I clenched my jaw so tight it felt like my teeth might crack. You got it, I said. After I heard the door close, I waited a few minutes before finally allowing myself to relax. I finished cutting up my chicken patty, then threw the cubes onto a bed of white rice. I thought, did she really not make anything for dinner because I didn't feed Harry? I shook my head and walked into the living room. I tried to lose myself in a true crime documentary about some people that went missing at a carnival a few decades ago, but I kept looking at the pictures scattered across the room instead. Pictures of Vanessa and her deceased husband, Oscar. I knew it shouldn't bother me that she kept those pictures. We had only been together for 2 years after all, whereas she and Oscar had been high school sweethearts who married shortly after graduation and were together for nearly 12 years. It hurt though. It was obvious she still loved him. The fucking dog was proof of that. Apparently he had been a gift to her from Oscar on his deathbed. A living testament to their love. I snorted and opened another can of beer. The so-called testament to their love dug holes in the backyard every other day, which I had to fix, shit on the floors, and chewed up my best pair of dress shoes. Believe it or not, that was not the worst of it. No. Not by far. The dog behaved like a spiteful stepson. He would put himself between Vanessa and I at night, which she found hilarious. He would scratch and howl at the door whenever we shut it to make love. One time, he even jumped onto me, leaving muddy paw prints all over my dress shirt right before we were going to leave for Valentine's Day dinner. The ensuing argument, which resulted after I cuffed him across the head, left me crashing at my brother's house for a week and Vanessa and I nearly splitting. Thankfully we didn't. She was a cool gal and I really did not want to go back to living in an apartment on the south side. I never thought I would live in a house as nice as this one, and some dog wasn't going to push me out that easily. I laughed at the ridiculousness of it all. I wasn't even second place in my girlfriend's life. I was third. I drifted off into an irritable state that was half sleep and half dim awareness. Faintly, as if from far away, I heard Vanessa scolding me. Closer, ever closer, I felt something thick and wet move back and forth between my fingers. I snapped awake, my heart pounding. I was alone, and the TV was off. A nightmare. It was a nightmare. Vanessa was asleep in our bed with the dog laying next to her in my spot. He looked up at me and growled softly as I entered the room. "Make room, Harry," Vanessa grumbled. The dog took his sweet-ass time to lay down on his doggy bed at our feet. The next morning found Vanessa and I going out for some breakfast sandwiches at one of our favorite spots. After some begging and a promise to go shopping with her at Marshall's later, she agreed to leave her dog at home. We people-watched and ate and talked about workplace drama. I'm a cook and she's a nurse, so we have a lot of material to discuss. Looking back, it was one of the better dates we have had in a long while. No planning went into it. It just happened that way. Funny how that works. Vanessa crumpled up the sandwich wrapper and sighed. Ugh, if only these things weren't 800 calories. I snorted. You'll be fine. I patted my belly, which had acquired some extra padding within the last few months. I should probably lay off the extra calories though. She raised a pencil-thin eyebrow. You could lay off the beers, or at least come out with Harry and I on our runs. Wouldn't want to get between you two, I said glumly. Vanessa pursed her lips. Oops. She leaned forward, her hands folded beneath her chin. It's been half a year since you moved in, and you two still haven't grown on one another. What's going on? I crossed my arms. I don't know, I feel like he hates me because I am not. She rolled her eyes. Harry is a dog. Let me say it again. He is a dog. He doesn't hate you. But he can sense that you don't like him. That is why I am asking you what's going on. Nessa, he ate my shoes. The ones that belonged to my dad. Somehow singled them out from all the others, like he knew how special they were to me. He gets mad whenever I try to lay down in our bed. She waved her hand. Are you hearing yourself, Eli? You're taking the actions of a dog personal. I'm worried about you. Ever since you moved and you started drinking more, you don't work out like you used to. I am sorry, but you are losing yourself. She reached for my hands, her tone earnest as she took them in her own. I don't know if it's the stress from living in a new space or something at work. Something in me snapped. I yanked my hands away from hers and stood up. It is your fucking dog, I shouted. I regretted it almost instantly. Vanessa leaned back, her eyes wide. The workers stopped what they were doing and looked our way. I slowly took my seat, and together we sat there for a bit, not knowing where to take things. An older man walked over and looked at us both. Ma'am, is everything all right? He asked. A terrible calm settled over her. She slowly picked up the car keys, then smiled at the old man. Yeah, I am okay. Thanks. I tried to talk to her on the way back home, but she was silent. The dog greeted her enthusiastically at the door and growled at me. I briefly entertained a fantasy of kicking him in the side, but let it pass just as quickly. She didn't speak to me much over the next couple of days. I didn't bother trying to sleep in our room. The living room was my new space. It wasn't half that bad. Had it not been for the reoccurring nightmares, it would have been perfect. Work kept us on different schedules for the rest of the week, and when Friday came along, Vanessa told me she had made last-minute plans to go on a weekend trip with some of her girlfriends. I tried to give her a hug but she brushed me off. She told me we would talk once she was back, and to make sure I fed and walked her dog. I nodded. I watched as she got in the car. My heart sank when I noticed one of her male coworkers was driving. I grabbed the dog's bowl and went into the garage. I scooped up some kibble from the big yellow bag and mixed it together with some leftover beef stew I made. I hoped it would count as some sort of attempt at building a relationship with the dog. Maybe Vanessa was right. Harry probably sensed my anger towards Vanessa. He was only being protective of his owner. I gathered up beer cans from around the house and threw them in the bin outside, feeling pretty down on myself. I had let my jealousy get the best of me. Took it out on a poor dog. Now I was probably going to lose my girl because of it. When I got inside, I saw Harry finishing up the last of his meal. He had licked the bowl clean. How'd you like it? I asked. He looked up at me and cocked his head. I saw his tail start to wag. I can make you more if you like the taste of that. I shifted from side to side, feeling ashamed. I owe you more than a few meals. Harry barked. He nudged the bowl with his paw, then barked again. I laughed and held up my hands. All right. I'll make some beef stew for us both tonight. But I need to run to the store. Think you can hold down the fort while I'm gone? I went to the local supermarket and strategized how I was going to make things right with Vanessa while I gathered ingredients for dinner. I had some pretty good ideas while there, and when I pulled into the driveway of our home, I realized that it had been some time since I had felt this at ease. I whistled, bags of groceries in hand, while walking up to the door. I noticed Harry watching me through a window. He barked and started scratching at the glass. "Hold on, I'm coming," I said. I stepped inside and nearly dropped the groceries. "Oh fuck. The hell, you stupid fucking." All 150 pounds of Harry crashed into me. I didn't even have time to yell. Together we landed on the coffee table. It collapsed, sending wood and glass all over the carpet. Harry licked me across the face and barked happily. I stared up at him in disbelief. He jumped off of me. I breathed in deep lungfuls of air, laying there until I was able to get back up again. Outside of some cuts on my arm from the glass, I seemed to be fine. "Harry! Harry!" I shouted. I couldn't find him anywhere in the house. I yanked at my hair and tried to calm myself, then I took a picture of what he had done and sent it to Vanessa. In the foyer, laid out perfectly for me to see, was a blanket I had gifted Vanessa last Christmas. It had a collage of some of our happiest moments printed on it. Harry had ripped into it and left a nice pile of crap on top. When Vanessa called me, she was in disbelief. She asked if I was sure Harry did it. Did I lock all of the doors before leaving? Was someone playing a prank? I nearly hung up on her then and there. Did she think he was some kind of perfect being incapable of making a mistake? Then she asked if I was angry enough at her to do something like that. Which in return I suggested she couldn't accept her dog was a dick because he was a gift from her dead husband. Well, that did it. She said we would be going to couples therapy, and if I didn't want to I would need to pack my bags and be out of there before she came home. Feeling defeated, I agreed. Then she hung up. I made dinner for one and felt some satisfaction at Harry's cries for my food. I kept him outside that night and didn't bother refilling his bowl. Knowing that my relationship was probably done for, I leaned back in my chair, flipped Harry off, and turned on the TV. It was the best night of sleep I had in a while. I dreamed of Vanessa, back when we first got together. Back when she was full of passion for me, and we would lay together for hours. She kissed me passionately, her long hair tickling my mouth, and for a moment it felt as if we were hanging together in space, the only two souls throughout all that cold dark. Cold. I woke up to the cold. The window was wide open. I blinked back my fatigue, and saw the first traces of dawn in the sky. I looked out onto the yard, and saw Harry lying motionless. At first I thought he was fine, but when his sides failed to rise, I knew something was wrong. "Oh shit. Shit. I hissed. I stumbled towards the back door and went outside. I knelt next to him, trying to ignore the wave of emotion that threatened to drown me. I ran my hands along his curly coat, feeling for a pulse or breath or any sign of life. "Harry. Come on, Harry. Don't do this, buddy." I felt his head and his side. Opened his mouth to check if he swallowed something. My hand stopped at his belly. My stomach sank. Some bit of metal was lodged there. My eyes widened. Did he fall on something? Did someone stab him? "Fuck," I whispered. I went to grab my phone and started to call the vet while I tried to pull aside the curls to better see the metal stuck in his gut. My finger and thumb closed around the flat piece of metal. The veterinarian's assistant answered, but I couldn't have spoken even if my life depended on it. I was frozen. Every part of me rigid with fear. Harry slowly turned his head and stared at me. "Pull the zipper, Elijah," he said quietly. A choke? A cry? Some sort of twisted, primal groan of terror forced itself out of me. I willed myself to move faster, but I couldn't. I crawled backwards on my hands and feet, not even able to stand. All the while Harry watched me. Since then I have been staying at my brother's. Vanessa has called me multiple times, but I have not answered and have not read her texts either. I am too afraid. All of my things are still at her house and I know I can't avoid this forever. I am stuck between two outcomes of going back. Either finding out I have gone insane and hallucinated a talking thing wearing a dog suit or I don't even want to write it out. If any of you have any suggestions, then please let me know. Take away my accountability.